Oh, here's my standard Monday stream. There's actually a person who's been getting on my nerves for the last maybe 4, 5, or 6 days. Because what's been going on is that around the 13th of every month, we get leaks for the next chapter of Super. And a lot of times, when people who don't want to be spoiled on the matter uh, don't want to be spoiled, others will give them the courtesy of keeping the spoilers, whether that's the images, the text that reveals what happened during the incoming chapter, from being in front of them. And this person has been putting the word spoilers in their video and then starts their video off by going, "Oh, if you don't want to be spoiled, make sure you click off," while using spoiler images as the goddamn thumbnail to get you to click on it. That's how I know this website is just operated and run by people who don't even, like, they just do the strangest stuff that makes no sense to me. But anyways, I'm gonna do some news stories. This could go on for maybe, I'd say at max an hour, and if it's shorter than that, that's fine because I actually was trying to speak to somebody else anyway. It's just they're doing something, so I figured I might as well just go ahead and do the stream. But yeah, I might talk about that person. Like I might actually put their, because I don't like to use names, but just to prove what I'm talking about, I might screenshot the stuff and show it because I just really hate that. And I'm saying that as someone who usually doesn't care about being spoiled. So it's all the more, it should matter all the more because they're doing something that is antithetical to what they say they don't want to do, which is spoil it for people who don't want to find out, while going out of their way to spoil it for people who don't want to find out. Let me get to these news stories. The main thing people are talking about today is Fauci and Trump because Fauci's been getting attacked by Trump, and Trump was saying that he loves the limelight and the spotlight. So I might discuss that. I'm just going to see if I can find some other stuff first. Oh, here's a grim one. The number of coronavirus cases worldwide has surpassed 40 million, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. The world hit the new high water mark amid a second wave that has built since August in Europe. Various European government officials have reintroduced restrictions and closures of businesses like bars and restaurants, CNBC noted. Some European nations have also implemented curfews in response to the second wave. Slovenia, for example, will impose one for the first time from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. beginning Tuesday, according to the Associated Press. France and Belgium have imposed similar curfews. In May, Slovenia became Europe's first to declare its epidemic over after the rate of new cases slowed to only a few daily. Europe has now surpassed the US in the number of new infections per 1 million people, according to CNBC. As of Monday, the US reported a 7-day average of 162 cases per 1 million people, compared to 187 per million in Europe, according to CNBC. So I guess that's cheerful news. We know this virus is not just affecting the U.S. It's going all over the place. It's a non-nationalist virus. Like I said, I just keep thinking about the person who came on here and said that they thought I was intelligent after, or that they had gone from thinking I was intelligent to not being so anymore after they found that I believed in the quote-unquote New World Order hoax virus. It's like I guess 200,000 people are all just pretending to be deceased. I really don't get these conspiracy theorists. Like, how do you? I'm really glad, and I would be glad under normal circumstances as well. But I am very relieved I haven't lost anyone I cared about to that, because if I did, I probably would have been more angrier at that, comment that person wrote. But again, that was a blessing in disguise because I don't want conspiracy theorists watching me. They can go watch Alex Jones. Fox News host Steve Hilton said Sunday night that it will be woke supremacy in the U.S. if Democratic nominee Joe Biden wins the upcoming presidential election and Democrats take a majority in the Senate, which I don't think will happen, the latter, because the Democrats are kind of in a lot of states where they could defeat the Republican incumbents. They're barely winning, like in Arizona, in Maine. They're just like it could go either way. Here's what the election means for you. For 50 years, the establishment machine had its own way. Big business colluded with big government and later big tech. They sucked up to China, opened the borders, shipped jobs overseas, fought and lost endless wars. Hilton said in his The Next Revolution monologue, the rich got richer, the workers got screwed, the coast boomed as the heartland was hollowed out. Trump put a stop to it, so now they want to put a stop to Trump. There, there's this thing about what a lot of conservatives are doing where they deify Trump. Uh, so, like when he says here, for 50 years, just as an example, one of the things he said, um, they, whoever they is, fought and lost endless wars. Throughout Trump's entire tenure, his 4 years, it may even be 8 if he wins the second term, he has kept every single one of Obama's 7 wars going. And Obama kept both of the ones started under Bush, the younger one, during his tenure. So I just think it's funny when they try to make it seem as if when you voted for this person, they changed everything. Like, no, they didn't. They kept up all the same crap. No, that's nuts. Let me see what else is here. Yeah, somebody tried to call me. Anyways, let me proceed to another story. Again, I just hate it when people do that, when they try to make it seem as if there were just all these years of horrible policies being done by both parties, which there were. And then this one person who kept up most of it supposedly changed things. I really don't like that, because again, they're hoping that your ignorance will prevent you from being able to recognize it. They're like, oh, see, they don't know that this actually stayed the same. I get annoyed when people do the deification for Obama too, because a lot of people try to trick themselves into thinking there was this amazing time for people when he was in office, and uh, it's like the same several wars that his predecessor had, the same surveillance state with the Patriot Act. I just we could be here all day describing the continuity of these different presidents. Let's see if I can find see what else is here. Okay, they did some article where they were talking about Burks. That's that lady that's part of the U.S. COVID team. She disappeared recently. Not disappeared like Natalie Holloway disappeared, but hasn't been as public as Fauci. Just kind of has been out of the limelight for a while. Oh, here's something fun. Vice President Pence will travel at least 5 days a week and ramp up at least 2 campaign rallies each day as part of a very aggressive schedule. In the final days before the election, Pence Chief of Staff Mark Short told reporters on the call Monday. Pence will visit 7 states in total over the next 6 days, Short said. He will begin with rallies in Maine's 2nd congressional district and in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on Monday. Pence's robust travel schedule comes as Trump trails Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden in national and swing state polling, with voters already beginning to submit their ballots and head to the polls in states where early voting has begun. Do you know that a man was hanging in the Trump Tower in order to have a conversation with Trump? Um, was that recent? Because I remember there was a guy who climbed up the tower a couple of years ago, and people were like, "What the hell?" No, I remember on that was back when I still used Facebook, and we were all just watching this stream of this guy just climbing up. And somebody said this is what Spider-Man 4 would have been like before it got canceled. Yeah, I didn't hear about that new one though. No, what I think is funny is that when you tell people the fact, which is that there are a lot of polls that show that Trump is behind Biden. Now, Trump could still pull off a win depending on what states he picks up, but he is factually trailing Biden. They're like, those are just polls. We're not worried. And, like, they really try to make you think they have absolute conviction that they're going to win, but then they have to do all this campaign like, oh, just to be sure, let's scatter around the U.S. All right, let me read this article from NBC Chicago. A man was taken to custody early Monday after hanging off the side of Trump Tower from a rope for 13 hours, demanding to speak to President Trump. The man, who was in his 20s, dangled from the tower's 16th floor balcony beginning at about 5:30 p.m. Sunday, asking to speak to the president, trying to get his message to the media, according to Chicago police spokesman Tom Ahern. Police officers at the scene said they believed the man was using a climbing harness. The man threatened to kill himself, Chicago police said. A negotiator was on the desk trying to get the man down, according to Police blocked off traffic on Upper Wacker around Trump Tower, which overlooks the Chicago River, at 441 and Wabash Avenue. A crowd of onlookers gathered across the tower, some wondering if it was part of a stunt for the upcoming Batman movie. Hey, remember that part of the Batman movie where one of the guys in there was trying to talk to Trump, so they hung off his tower like an idiot for half a day? As the situation extended into Monday morning, the CTA announced reroutes on the Southbound 6, 134, 136, 137, 146 bus routes through the area because of ongoing police activity at Wacker and Wabash. I just can't get over that 13-hour thing. Did he sleep up there? No, but that other one I mentioned happened before Trump became president. It was while he was running. Yeah, that's really insane. Remember that part in the movie where a Chinese-looking dude is hanging at Trump Tower to get in contact with Trump, and then Batman inadvertently saves the president, who's not even there anyway. So the more people who know you, the crazier things are done to you. Like you get around all kind of twisted and demented behaviors with more eyes on you. No, that was really comedic. I have to admit that story was goofy. Because you already saw Bader, a certain person who couldn't let me go. He said something about, oh, don't mention that group. You know, I had this old video from I think 4 years ago, at least 3 years ago. It's 2016, and every like 2 or 3 weeks, I get a new comment on where they're like, "This is so. This is the truth of this video is still prevalent years later," and then somebody else will say, "I can't believe you would have the position that you have." And I'm like, go away. Like, I'm not about to sit here and respond to you on something that at this point is just really irrelevant to me. Yeah, Dio, it was literally brought up right before you came. Well, you know what that is, Vader. When they come to the stream late or like after it started, they don't see the comments that were written before, and we know nobody's gonna pause or rewind or do any of that. I remember I did this one stream where I think I was upset over something, so I started off by like ranting about what was getting on my nerves, and then toward the end I had calmed down. This other person comes like, "What happened?" Like, you have a replay button. Watch it from the beginning. Like, because I never do that to people. I've come to plenty of streams late, but I've never asked for them to recap. This is like last time on Dragon Ball Z. Like, if I want the recap, I can rewind and see what happened from the start. Imagine if real life was like that, where you could, like, anytime you wanted somebody to tell you something, they could rewind and show and like have you watch it to see what happened. And then you're like, nah, forget seeing it firsthand. Let me ask you, what happened? Oh yeah, by the way, that guy that I was telling you about, Adam Sandler, that guy that you got all those screenshots in regards to, he I think he'll be the first person in internet history to like actually have a war on multiple websites. Again, I'm not going to say his name, but Bader, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he steals these other people's characters and draws this nasty art, and now he's got like a whole bunch of them just so angry at him. The fact that somebody like that has literally 6 times as many subs as me, and all they do is screw with and harass people, should tell you all you need to know about how backwards YouTube is. He is also getting, yeah, it's Twitter, on that other site, uh, on Discord, on YouTube, everywhere. Jesus Christ. They're gonna make a movie about him called Swashbuckling Harassment. Talk about fall from grace. Or remember, first he had the scandal with that famous person last year who he made up with, and now says he's friends with. Then he had the scandal with a bunch of no-name people on these other websites, and now he has a scandal with some no-name guy on Discord. No, this is not perfect, Dio. Don't even call this kind of behavior perfect. From going after a homeowner to going after some Discord guy. I'm a homeowner now. His stupid one. Yeah, he dissented from the top, the pinnacle of YT to going after some unknown man. And he keeps promising this video. I'm waiting for it. Let me get back to the news. Let me see what else is on here. I can't believe Dio would say this kind of behavior sounds perfect. It's like, what? That's crazy. I hope he thinks it's opposite day. 2060, and he will still be talking about making a video. Yeah, I didn't. Isn't it a sad thing when like the biggest thing you can do to somebody is make a stupid video? Like the peak of your power is to put their picture or or them or whatever in a video where you talk trash about them for half an hour. Because that video that one sub made on me literally is as long as the one he made on that friend of his, like 20 plus minutes. That's like the length of betrayal uploads. One of this YouTuber. Are you talking about LTG? Since you said rage quits. You know, somebody actually said so. I was streaming playing Silver Surfer on the NES, and someone actually said I was because I stopped playing after you have 4 lives, and if you get hit once, you die. I stopped playing after I lost all of my lives. And this guy was like, "Well, if somebody else was watching you play, they would say you were rage quitting. Like they would say I'm rage quitting because I stopped playing after I lost all of my lives." Because remember, I used to think that was when you would turn the game off before or when it looked like you were about to die, not after you've died and all of you've seen the game over screen. You're supposed to play it forever. Oh, that's nuts. This is here. Government watchdog to investigate allegations of. I would click on that, but that is a picture of that traitor, so I'm not gonna bother with it. See where this thing is. Oh, this one's funny. And I always have to remind people because a lot of them don't believe me that Trump is the same person who said the noise on windmills gives people cancer. And if you don't believe me, you can look it up. But he said something about the environment. President Trump mockingly warned at his rally in Nevada late Sunday that Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden would listen to the scientists if elected, and there would be more lockdowns to curb the spread of the coronavirus. Trump told attendees in Carson City that supporters of his opponent would surrender their future to the virus, saying he's going to want to lock down. He'll listen to the scientists, Trump added in a mocking tone before saying, if I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression instead. We're like a rocket ship. Take a look at the numbers. I don't even know what that means. I assume the massive depression would be, I don't know, the debt of the Green New Deal, because that's the one environmental policy that the Republicans like to say is so catastrophic and evil. But he's not actually saying what is this massive depression going to be the result of. Just like by listening to scientists, supposedly, and remember, scientists can be Democrats, Republicans, whatever. You have a lot of Republicans who, to an extent, believe in the environment being affected by human activity. He's actually saying if he listens to doctors or scientists, rather, in any capacity, you're just automatically going to have this massive depression. He also took aim at Democratic governors, one of which he almost got kidnapped. He didn't get her kidnapped, but he won't come out and condemn the people who tried to kidnap her, accusing them of keeping their states closed with preventative measures to mitigate the spread of the pandemic. According to Johns Hopkins University data, the coronavirus has led to more than 8.1 million cases in the US and more than 219,000 deaths. A spokesperson for Biden's campaign, Andrew Bates, pushed back on the president's comments in a statement on Twitter late Sunday, saying the claims are tellingly out of touch and the polar opposite of reality. Trump crashed the strong economy he inherited from the Obama Biden administration. You know, the one where, what was it, 70% of people couldn't afford $1,000 emergency, that strong economy, by lying about and attacking the science, and layoffs are rising. Meanwhile, Joe Biden would create millions more jobs than Trump, Bates added. Trump also warned during his rally on Sunday that the Christmas season will be canceled if Biden wins in November. Oh my, he's doing the same thing that they do with the churches where people said, hey, if you want to practice religion, you're free to do that, just not in a group because you're going to infect each other. They're like, you're pouncing on my religious freedom of speech because if I can't pray with the group of people, I'm unable to pray. They act like praying is like the Super Saiyan God ritual where you have to have 6 people to do it. Like you can't just pray by yourself. But he was what he's doing with this Christmas thing is pretty devious because he's trying to say that supposedly you can't celebrate Christmas alone or in some tiny group. You have to be part of this big gathering and go out to some ball. It's just Bangladesh is a country that was worse than India for many years, have a higher GDP than us. Or remember what Trump said, we don't even know if your coronavirus numbers are correct. We as Americans know more about India than Indians do. No, that's crazy. Was that straw man fallacy? Yeah, they're trying to pretend that if you're not part of some group, you can't celebrate these things on your own. No, they love doing the Republicans the little freedom thing. It's like I support freedom. You shouldn't have to go to jail if you want to or get punished for practicing your religion. It's like, well, hell, you can still pray. You just should not be able to do it in a group when you have a virus that is infecting people. Do you think Biden could get arrested before? No. Let me tell you a little dirty secret about American politics. As long as somebody hates you, or excuse me, somebody hates someone else more than you, uh, which is the case with a lot of the Biden supporters, they will go out of their way to protect and deflect and make you seem as if you didn't do anything wrong, even if you did. So, in some hypothetical where you can get Biden on some legitimate crime, he'll be protected at least until the election occurs. And if he wins, definitely after that, just because they hate Trump that much that they're not going to bring themselves to seriously try to screw with them before it happens. But if your religion worships the virus like that one in Korea, I mean, as long as you're not spreading the virus as part of your religion, then I don't really see the problem with it. Like it would just be a stupid idea of a religion where you're worshiping a disease. All hail Corona. You know, Corona sounds just like the name of the Supreme Kai of Time. Like they're almost identical. You know what I'm talking about, the one with the pink hair. The god of coronavirus. Hey, they're gonna shatter the timeline with this virus, and we're gonna have like a real life version of Xuniverse, where you have to go around to different countries, like traveling across the world to prevent it from breaking out. Nah, they act really ridiculous. She fell under the influence of the demon god dude in Heroes. Oh, I forgot his name. Um, yeah, I haven't. I told you I haven't seen much of Heroes. I've just been ignoring that show. Oh, by the way, Bader, don't go on that one homeowner's channel. Please don't go over there. If you don't want to be spoiled, do whatever you do. Don't go to that homeowner's channel with his piss yellow colored avatar. Leave him alone. There's a whole religion worshiping. Oh, I've heard of that one before. He only appeared in the Heroes game, and I have him blocked. Oh, do you have the block? Oh, hey, don't bring that green clown back. I don't want to hear from him again. But you know, there's a way to block. You have to download some kind of app where you can block whole channels. Like when you like if you put my name in there, for example, like my URL, you could just block everything I ever put up on here. Like they found a way to make YouTube blocks like Twitter blocks. So I thought that was the one you had because he's put all the different spoil pictures all in the thumbnail. And you have a couple of people in the comment section who are calling them out for it, but the majority of them are just like, well, whatever. I don't care that he told me the whole damn thing before it even came out. Do I think BLM will vote for Biden? More so than Trump, yes, but there's a really big portion of them that are going to do the same thing to him that they did to Hillary, where she got, confronted over the super predators comment. He's going to get confronted over the 94 crime bill and some other dumb things that he has said. Let's not forget my favorite. With Obama, you've got the first mainstream African American who's articulate and who's clean. Those are all going to come back. But again, because they hate Trump more than him, you'll see some that do peel off and end up supporting him. I am very grateful with the spoiler. Thanks for revealing the whole damn story before I even get to read it. So they did the same thing with the Broly movie, where by the time that film came out, you knew every single scene of it. God, they are going out of their mind. Yeah, I feel bad for all stores and malls closing down since the stock market crashed. Yeah, a lot of people are losing their positions, and the thing with being a what's the way of saying it? Like, if you're part of Trump's campaign, you have to convince people to keep the person in office who's been in charge while things have gone to crap. So they're kind of having to be miracle workers. Not to mention that people do just kind of get, when they feel like they're downtrodden, they feel what's a good way of saying it, even if it's irrationally, want to jump to something else. I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle. Oh, I remember that one. Let's not forget, this one isn't about race, but remember I had to go out and prostitute myself to these donors. They didn't want to repeal Social Security. I love it when the Democrats are always saying it about the Republicans, and then I have to remind people of the great, what was it, the Grand Bargain? Yeah, that was the name of it, where Obama was offering to repeal Social Security for some deal with the Republicans, and it fell through. That's just a right-wing thing that people have been proposing for a long time. But only one party gets in trouble for doing it. Oh, Bader, I was originally, when I was still editing videos for like the political stuff, I actually was gonna, every time I talked about Biden, I was gonna end it by saying, and remember, if you don't vote for Biden, and then have it cut to him saying, then you ain't black. Like, remember that one time on Discord where I did that, where I said the first part and he says the second part. White people listen to rap now. I didn't listen to rap for a long time. That's not new. That's old news. Speaking of rap, remember what Kamala said, that Tupac was the greatest rapper alive? And then she said that, well, she said this before that, that when she was in college, she would listen to him, and then you find out that by the time she got out of college, he wasn't even a major like celebrity at that point, or even someone who had put out any albums. They don't even care. They just make up so many damn lies. But that's one of the problems with a lot of these American politicians. They're so wooden and fake. They have to like bring up pop culture crap to I guess appear like they're with the in crowd. Because I remember when Jeb, the brother of George W., when he was running for president, he would start talking about he liked Supergirl, the CW show, and it was just weird. Eminem is the GOAT. I've only heard maybe about 3 or 4 of his songs. The cleaning out my closet one. Yeah, he's not. I mean, I don't have an opinion on him one way or the other. Our politicians are singing and dancing in a news debate that is aired on national television. Well, hell, my president gave out a senator's phone number. Like, does nobody remember that? You can go look this up. Uh, Trump gave out the senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham's phone number when they were running against each other for president. Then he tried to say another senator's dad helped assassinate a former president or knew the guy that did it. Yeah, people really do forget a lot. Like, it's funny. There's so much stuff, and like I don't consider myself someone to have some amazing, great memory, but there's so much stuff that I get surprised when people seem to not remember it or know about it. Because a lot of it is relatively recent, like 5, 6 years. Like when Trump was talking about, oh, they're going to use the mail-in ballots to rig the election. You can go look up clips. They're still on this website of him from the last election. He said the exact same thing when it was kind of like before where he was polling behind Hillary. They're going to have people register to vote that have been dead for 10 years. And then after he won, all the little talk of him possibly losing because it's rigged just vanished. And Trump doesn't help the poor people at all. Yeah. Well, listen, he's able to hide behind job creation as a way of making it seem as if he's this working class savior when a lot of those positions don't have health care benefits, don't pay worth the damn, and really are only good because people didn't have anything in the first place. It's kind of like be grateful that you got something as opposed to something that is decent. Because I told that to some of his supporters, they're like, you want them to have welfare? I'm like, no, I want them to actually pay the living wage and not have to worry about how they're going to get health care if they quit their job or get fired. But again, it falls on deaf ears. People are crazy. They get so angry over just. I guess what gets me is that there's like a phenomenon where they want you to hear them, but then they don't want to hear you. Like I used to still when I was an active poster on Twitter, you would see so many times where people would be going back and forth, and then someone ends it by saying, "I'm blocking you." Yep, and some white people live in the poor neighborhoods and ghettos. Yeah, poverty affects every ethnic group. It affects some more than others, but it's still there. I'm so done with this stuff. Watching like Americans talk about politics is like being on a Ferris wheel. We're just a bunch of hypocrites and liars and tricksters, like with that Supreme Court crap. I vividly remember when Scalia died. That was the Associate Justice during the last election cycle, and all the Republicans, we got to wait until the election's over because the people need to decide who the next Supreme Court nominee is, and they can decide that by voting for the next president. And now that the same thing has happened again, but now this time the current president's on their team, we need to confirm this person now. We need to confirm them now. So no more let the people decide, huh? Hey, remember the Trump whistleblower, the one that I don't think we ever found out who that was, but there were people who were like, we need to, the Democrats, we need to protect the whistleblower and people who reveal things because they're trying to help us. And, our government shouldn't be able to punish people who tell on. And then 4 or 5 years earlier with, what was it? Snowden, he's a traitor. We need to put him behind bars and imprison him for revealing the information that he did. Is it possible to vote for the same president? Well, yeah. You can write anybody's name on there. Although again, according to Trump, he's if he like loses any state, it's because of voter fraud. The people there couldn't have just not wanted him. It's for voter fraud. Like Hillary I thought was awful, but at least she didn't try to say after she lost, they rigged it against me. They pulled some shenanigans. Again, if Trump wins, all that voter fraud talk is just going to vanish. Like it never happened. No, I'm so done with this stuff. I'll try to see if I can find one more story and then we can wrap this up. I don't know if Bader is still here. He probably got sick and went to go read that new chapter of Super that somebody probably leaked online in Japanese. You can't just wait until tomorrow to read it. Supreme Court to review Trump. Yeah, I'm not. That's immigration. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I make sure to stay away from that topic after the foolishness of that last midterm. You want to give illegal immigrants health care? It's like, well, hell, if they don't get health care and we've got a pandemic of a virus that infects people just by standing next to the people who have it, then by not treating them, you will inevitably be contributing to people who were born here getting it, because there is no magic barrier that prevents diseases from illegal immigrants not being transferred to people who were born here. So it's in the best interest of everybody for everyone to have health care, whatever. So many damn nativists. Oh, this is funny. CNN's Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended by the New Yorker after exposing himself on a Zoom call, according to a report Monday by Vice. I made an extremely stupid mistake, believing I was off camera. I apologize to my wife, family, friends, and coworkers, Toobin said in a statement Monday. I believed I was not visible on Zoom. I thought no one on the Zoom call could see me. I thought I had muted the Zoom video. The incident occurred on a Zoom video conference call last week between members of the New Yorker and WNYC Radio, a nonprofit public radio station in New York. A New Yorker spokesperson said that Toobin, who has been with the publication for more than 25 years, has been suspended while we investigate the matter. Toobin has served as a CNN legal analyst since 2002. The network said in a Monday statement that he asked for time off to deal with a personal issue. Jeff Toobin has asked for some time off while he deals with a personal issue, which we have granted, the network said in a statement to Vice on Monday. I don't understand how anyone like, imagine being so horny while you're in front of a computer that you're like, let me reveal myself. Let me show off the banana. I thought nobody could see me. Even if you thought nobody could see, why would you be opening it up in front of the computer? That's why I said something wrong with people. Like I haven't personally used Zoom outside of one instance, but I can't see a scenario where I'm going to be on something where people could possibly see me and then be in some compromising position. God, this stuff just gets weirder and weirder. So I said the news is just like it's a microcosm of all the like bizarre personalities that people have. Like, I'm on this Zoom call, nobody sees me, time to show myself. The news will really make you lose your faith in humanity. What else I gonna say here? I think that's pretty much it. Let me go look. Is there if there's any other story? That's a nice one to end on. Where you have a guy, you go from talking about these major issues with American security and the virus ravaging the U.S. to somebody being disgusting on a call. That story I did yesterday was still my favorite one. The idea that people are so desperate to make it look like Trump has black supporters that they have to steal somebody's picture and make an account with it and then uh, gas it up with a bunch of followers that nobody could get off of tweeting 7 or 8 times unless they're a celebrity. And then some clown came on the video and was like, "So is Kanye West a fake black person?" I tell you, like his supporters love doing that, where like literally, uh, nobody said anything about Kanye in that entire damn article or in my comments on the matter, and they have to like randomly bring this person up. Yeah, live streams are dead nowadays. I mean, hey, Twitch, that whole site is built on live streams, and then people still do them every day on there. I haven't seen Fly YOLO in so long. I almost forgot his username. I thought he was flying solo. That's his new enterprise. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I got all the news stories I wanted to do. I'll put up, the regular videos during the week, and then I'll do another stream on Saturday, and another one on Monday. So thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. See you later.